Good morning. Oh, you guys. Monday should not start out with you oversleeping. Stupid daylight savings time has jacked me up. I had my alarm set for 5. I did not get up at 5. Oh, crap. I have a class today. Like, this is not how I like to start out Monday, is being late to the game. So, y'all get this morning, all right? If this is too much for you, sit the phone down and just listen, okay? It's a lot. I understand. All right. And my stomach is growling on top of it. Okay. All right, March 14th, a call for a wholehearted commitment. Deuteronomy 6, 1 through 25. These are the commands, decrees, and regulations that the Lord your God commanded me to teach you. You must obey them in the land you are about to enter and occupy, and you and your children and grandchildren must fear the Lord your God as long as you live. If you obey all his decrees and commands, you will enjoy a long life. Listen closely, Israel, and be careful to obey. Then all will go well with you, and you will have many children in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord your God and your ancestors the God of your ancestors promised you. Listen, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord alone, and you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength. And you must commit yourselves wholeheartedly to these commands I am giving you today. Repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you are at home and when you are on the road and when you are going to bed and when you are getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as a reminder. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. The Lord your God will soon bring you into the land he swore to give you when he made a vow to your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It is a land large, with prosperous cities that you did not build. The houses will be richly stocked with goods you did not produce. You will draw water from cisterns you did not dig, and you will eat from vineyards and olive trees you did not plant. When you have eaten your fill in this land, be careful not to forget the Lord who rescued you from slavery in the land of Egypt. You must fear the Lord your God and serve him. When you take an oath, you must use only his name. You must not worship any other gods of neighboring nations. For the Lord your God, who lives among you, is a jealous God. His anger will flare up against you, and he will wipe you from the face of the earth. You must not test the Lord your God as you did when you complained at Massah. You must diligently obey the commands of the Lord your God, all the laws and decrees he has given you. Do what is right and good in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. Then you will enter and occupy the land that the Lord swore to give your ancestors. You will drive out all the enemies living in the land, just as the Lord said you would. In the future, your children will ask you, what is the meaning of these laws, decrees, and regulations that the Lord our God has commanded us to obey? Then you must tell them, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a strong hand. The Lord did miraculous signs and wonders before our eyes, dealing terrifying blows against Egypt and Pharaoh and all of his people. He brought us out of Egypt so he could give us this land he had sworn to give our ancestors. And the Lord our God commanded us to obey all these decrees and to fear him so he can continue to bless us and preserve our lives as he has done to this day. For we will be counted as righteous when we obey all the commands that the Lord our God has given us. The privilege of holiness, Deuteronomy 7, 1 through 26. When the Lord your God brings you into the land you are about to enter and occupy, he will clear away many nations ahead of you: the Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. These 7 nations are greater and more numerous than you. When the Lord your God hands these nations over to you and you conquer them, you must completely destroy them. Make no treaties with them and show them no mercy. You must not intermarry with them. Do not let your daughters and sons marry their sons and daughters, for they will lead your children away from me to worship other gods. Then the anger of the Lord will burn against you, and he will quickly destroy you. This is what you must do. You must break down their pagan altars and shatter their sacred pillars. Cut down their Asherah poles and burn their idols. for you are a holy people who belong to the Lord your God. Of all the people on the earth, the Lord your God has chosen you to be his own special treasure. The Lord did not set his heart on you and choose you because you were more numerous than other nations, for you were the smallest of all nations. Rather, it was simply that the Lord loves you, and he was keeping an oath he had sworn to your ancestors. That is why the Lord rescued you with such a strong hand from your slavery and from the oppressive hand of Pharaoh the king of Egypt. Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God is indeed God. He is the faithful God who keeps his covenant for thousands of generations and lavishes his unfailing love on those who love him and obey his commands. But he does not hesitate to punish and destroy those who reject him. Therefore, you must obey all these commands, decrees, and regulations I am giving you today. If you listen to these regulations and faithfully obey them, the Lord your God will keep his covenant of unfailing love with you, as he promised with an oath to your ancestors. He will love you and bless you, and he will give you many children. He will give you fertility in your land and your animals. When you arrive in the land he swore to give your ancestors, you will have large harvests of grain, new wine, and olive oil, and great herds of cattle, sheep, and goats. You will be blessed above all the other nations on earth. None of your men and women will be childless, and all of your livestock will bear young. And the Lord will protect you from all sickness. He will not let you suffer from terrible diseases you knew in Egypt, but he will inflict them on your enemies. You must destroy all the nations the Lord your God hands over to you. Show them no mercy, and do not worship their gods, or they will trap you. Perhaps you will think to yourselves, how can we ever conquer these nations that are so much more powerful than we are? But don't be afraid of them. Just remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all the land of Egypt. Remember that the great terrors the Lord your God has sent against them. You saw it with your own eyes. And remember the miraculous signs and wonders, the strong hand and powerful arm, with which he brought you out of Egypt. The Lord your God will use this same power against all the people you fear, and then the Lord your God will send terror to drive out the few survivors still hiding from you. No, do not be afraid of those nations, for the Lord your God is among you, and he is great and awesome God. The Lord your God will drive those nations out ahead of you, little by little. You will not clear them away all at once. Otherwise, the wild animals will multiply too quickly for you. But the Lord your God will hand them over to you. He will throw them into complete confusion until they are destroyed. He will put their kings in your power, and you will erase their names from the face of the earth. No one will be able to stand against you, and you will destroy them all. You must burn their idols, and you must not covet the silver or gold that covers them. You must not take it, or it will become a trap for you, for it is detestable to the Lord your God. Do not bring any detestable objects into your home, for then you will be destroyed just like them. You must utterly detest such things, for they are set apart for destruction. A call to remember and obey. Deuteronomy 8:1-20. Be careful to obey all the commands I am giving you today. Then you will live and multiply, and you will enter and occupy the land the Lord swore to give your ancestors. Remember how the Lord your God led you through the wilderness for these 40 years, humbling you and testing you to prove your character, and to find out whether or not you would obey his command? Yes, he humbled you by letting you go hungry and then feeding you with manna, a food previously unknown to you and your ancestors. He did it to teach you that people do not live by bread alone. Rather, we live by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. For all these 40 years, your clothes didn't wear out and your feet didn't blister or swell. Think about it. Just as a parent disciplines a child, the Lord your God disciplines you for your own good. So obey the commands of the Lord your God by walking in his ways and fearing him. For the Lord your God is bringing you into a good land of flowing streams and pools of water, with fountains and springs that gush out into the valleys and hills. It is a land of wheat and barley, of grapevines, fig trees, and pomegranates, of olive oil and honey. It is a land where food is plentiful and nothing is lacking. It is a land where iron is as common as stone, and copper is as abundant as the hills. When you have eaten your fill, be sure to praise the Lord your God for the good land he has given you. But that is the time to be careful. Beware that in your plenty you do not forget the Lord your God and disobey his commands, regulations, and decrees that I am giving you today. For when you have become full and prosperous and have built fine homes to live in, and when your flocks and herds have become very large and your silver and gold have multiplied along with everything else, be careful. Do not become proud at that time and forget that the Lord your God who rescued you from slavery in Egypt. Do not forget that he led you through the great and terrifying wilderness with its poisonous snakes and scorpions, where it was so hot and dry. He gave you water from a rock. He fed you with manna in the wilderness and food unknown to your ancestors. He did this to humble you and test you for your own good. He did all of this so you would never say to yourself, I achieved this wealth with my own strength and energy. Remember the Lord your God. He is the one who gives you power to be successful in order to fulfill the covenant he confirmed to your ancestors with an oath. But I assure you of this, if you ever forget the Lord your God and follow other gods, worshiping and bowing down to them, you will certainly be destroyed. Just as the Lord has destroyed the other nations in your path, you will also be destroyed if you refuse to obey the Lord your God. Victory by God's grace, Deuteronomy 9:1-6. Listen, O Israel, today you are about to cross the Jordan River to take over the land belonging to the nations much greater and more powerful than you. They live in the cities with walls that reach the sky. They are a people strong and tall, descendants of the famous Anakite giants. You've heard the saying, who can stand up to the Anakites? But recognize today that the Lord your God is the one who will cross over ahead of you, like a devouring fire to destroy them. He will subdue them, so that you will quickly conquer them and drive them out, just as the Lord has promised. After the Lord your God has done this for you, don't say in your hearts, the Lord has given us this land because we are such a good people. No, it is because of the wickedness of the other nations that he is pushing them out of your way. It is not because you are so good, or Bassy, stop, buddy. It is not because you are so good or have such great integrity that you are about to occupy their land. The Lord your God will drive these nations out ahead of you, only because of their wickedness, and to fulfill the oath he swore to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You must recognize that the Lord your God is not giving you this good land because you are good, for you are not. You are a stubborn people. Remembering the gold calf, Deuteronomy 9:7-29. Remember and never forget how angry you made the Lord your God out in the wilderness. From the day you left Egypt until now, you have been constantly rebelling against him. Even at Mount Sinai, you made the Lord so angry he was ready to destroy you. This happened when I was on the mountain receiving the tablets of stone inscribed with the words of the covenant that the Lord had made with you. I was there for 40 days and 40 nights, and all the time I ate no food and drank no water. The Lord gave me the two tablets on which God had written with his own finger all the words he spoke to you from the heart of the fire when you were assembled at the mountain. At the end of the 40 days and nights, the Lord handed me the two stone tablets inscribed with the words of the covenant. Then the Lord said to me, Get up, get down, go down immediately, for the people you brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves. How quickly they have turned away from the way I commanded them to live. They have melted down gold and made an idol for themselves. The Lord also said to me, I have seen how stubborn and rebellious these people are. Leave me alone so I may destroy them and erase their name from under heaven. Then I will make a mighty nation of your descendants, a nation larger and more powerful than they are. So while the mountain was blazing with fire, I turned and came down, holding in my hands two stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. There below me I could see that you had sinned against the Lord your God. You had melted gold and made a calf idol for yourselves. How quickly you turned away from the Lord. My goodness, I can't read this morning. How quickly you turned away from the path the Lord had commanded you to follow. So I took the stone tablet and threw them to the ground, smashing them before your eyes. Then, as before, I threw myself down before the Lord for 40 days and nights. I ate no bread and drank no water because of the great sin you had committed by doing what the Lord hated, provoking him to anger. I feared that the furious anger of the Lord, which turned him against you, would drive him to destroy you. But again, he listened to me. The Lord was so angry with Aaron that he wanted to destroy him too. But I prayed for Aaron, and the Lord spared him. I took your sin, the calf you made, and I melted it down in the fire and ground it into fine dust. Then I threw the dust into the stream that flows down the mountain. You also made the Lord angry at Taberah, Massah, and Kibroth-Hattaavah. And at Kadesh Barnea the Lord sent you out with this command, Go up and take over the land I have given you. But you rebelled against the command of the Lord your God, and refused to put your trust in him or obey him. Yes, you have been rebelling against the Lord as long as I have known you. That is why I threw myself down before the Lord 40 days and nights, and the Lord said he would destroy you. I prayed to the Lord and said, O sovereign Lord, do not destroy them. They are your own people. They are your special possession whom you redeemed from Egypt by your mighty power and your strong hand. Please overlook the stubbornness and awful sin that the sin of these people, and remember instead your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you destroy these people, the Egyptians will say, the Israelites died because the Lord wasn't able to bring them to the land he had promised to give them. Or they might say he destroyed them because he hated them. He deliberately took them into the wilderness to slaughter them. But they are your people and your special possession, whom you brought out of Egypt by your great strength and powerful arm. Okay. Let's do Trim Healthy Devotions. What day is day 73? What you doing down there, bud? All right. Day 73. 2.5 centuries. 2.5 centuries. That's a long time, isn't it? Jonadab gave certain commandments to his family that he wanted them to keep throughout all of their generations and forever. 2.5 centuries later, the prophet Jeremiah tested Jonadab's family. After 250 years, they were still keeping the commandments of their father to the absolute letter. Not just some of them, but every one of them. Husbands, wives, sons, and daughters. What a testimony. Can you imagine your descendants still talking about you and keeping to what you said 250 years down the line? God was so pleased with this family that he gave them a blessing that no one else in the Bible received, apart from the patriarchs. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Jonadab the son of Rechab shall not want a man to stand before me forever. It's worth the reading, the whole chapter. It seems that we often fail in passing on God's ways to children in just one generation. I think of how the standard of holiness amongst God's people has degenerated ever since I was a child. But what about 250 years of generations? We can't be casual about being parents. We can't let go of our convictions. We can't let the standard drop to fit in with the declining morality of tolerance of our society. We have a responsibility to keep God's words continuing down through generations in the hearts and mouths of our progeny. Nancy. Feasting and gladness. After a recent speaking engagement, we were touched by the testimony of a woman who looked like she had it all together, yet she'd secretly wrestled with inner pain and turmoil for years. To maintain her tiny figure, she'd keep her calories less than 800 per day. By evening, she would end up shaking with fatigue and dangerously low blood sugar. She had young children to take care of, and her physical and mental health suffered greatly. She shared through her tears that she is now eating real food and plenty of it on the Trim Healthy Mama plan. Her health is rebounding, her nerves are settling, her energy is climbing, and her metabolism is healing. To her surprise, after several months on plan, she is able to maintain a trim figure by actually eating. The words feasting and gladness are often paired together in the Bible. Of course, the Bible cautions against gluttony, but delicious, healthy meals are a gift to be celebrated. Our bodies are designed to get hungry, fill up, and get hungry again. The cycle repeats. Denying yourself a healthy schedule of meals and snacks with enough fuel to leave you satisfied only leads to destruction. Rigorous calorie counting harms so many women and girls emotionally and physically. The deceiver wants to warp the wonderful gift of meal times and nutritional fulfillment that God smiles on. No matter what any extreme diet says, your body needs to be fueled. Don't skip meals today. Have at least one snack. Savor your next meal with gladness. Healthy, delicious meals are not a curse to your body, but a blessing. I think that's a great lesson for some people. That's very good. His love letter. Saying you believe in Christ is one thing. Following him is another. It is when you follow him with all of your heart, mind, and soul that you reap the benefits. In this season of my life, I feel that I have reached a stronger relationship with my Heavenly Father. And the only way I can do this is by both prayer and seeking. Seeking by actually reading and making an effort to understand the depth of his beautiful love letter he wrote for me and for you. Read your Bible, friend. Even though I'm not always perfect and faithful servant, I can't fully express the comfort and joy of having Jesus as my everything. As I read some of his words tonight, my eyes filled with tears. That is the power of his love letter to me. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. My brekkie this morning on my menu is sweatpants oatmeal, which I don't Ooh, good gravy. I don't love sweatpants oatmeal, but it's on my menu today, and I'm eating it anyway, and I'm going to make it so I love it. The first time I had it, I stirred everything in. I'm going to top it with my brown Swerve, and I'm not going to stir it in because to me that makes me like it. And don't ask me why, I don't know, okay? I need help. I should be live in just a few minutes. It shouldn't take me very long to get out my ingredients for sweatpants oatmeal, and we'll have brekkie together. And then I have a class starting in half an hour. Yay, another class. Ah, Sebastian, easy peasy, buddy. You break my leg. You're gonna break my leg. He's just bringing me his toy again. Say hi. Bassy, say hi. Nope. He says, nope, I'm going with my toy. All right, you guys. It has messed me up big time. I don't remember it messing me up this bad before, but I wasn't used to getting up at 4:30 or 5. So this time I shut off the alarm and was like, oh, I got to get up. And the next thing I know, it's almost 7. I'm like, oh, Lord, I got to get up. So I'll see you in a few minutes for breakfast. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.